And we are back home on the range. And does living in Montana mean that everyone is having incest with their family members? I don't know. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to Don't Be Tardy. We are here for episode 5. I can't believe it's 5 already.
Halfway there, almost.
I'm your host, Elayna. You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay. We have Suzette to my left.
Hey guys, Suzette here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Suzette Babb, and I have Candace on my left.
Hey, it's Candace Rice, aka Pimp Fried Rice. You can follow me on Instagram at _Pimp Fried Rice.
Why did I mention incest in the teaser? Actually, it wasn't me. It was Brielle. As you guys know, if you tuned into the episode, we are back on the range in Montana, Kroy's hometown.
Unfortunately.
No Starbucks.
No Starbucks. And Brielle seems to think that it's such a small town that she said that the people there just remind her of incest. She was like, it's like incest. And I was like, wait, that's not where you insert that.
We need to get t-shirts that say Brielle says ... Because sometimes I'm like, does she really think this for real? It's like the Jessica Simpson syndrome. The things you're saying, you're like, what?
Right.
I mean, I could see where she's getting it, but incest, it's just like, it's not even the correct,
Guys,
word.
I was sitting there and I was afraid to ask. I literally had to think to myself, wait, what does incest mean again? She made me feel like I didn't know what it meant. She was like, the town reminds her of incest. She was like, it's like incest. I was like, wait a minute.
And we don't believe that Montanians, or whatever you call yourself, basically there's no one living there. So she's thinking it's slim pickings. So people might be...
I could see where she got it
Nah.
from, but reminds it's like incest. You can't assume that.
Oh my gosh. Brielle.
But maybe somebody's cousin, because there's not many people.
Thank you for the laughs, Brielle. Thank you.
You do give us a lot of laughter.
So, in Montana, this episode, we got to get a tour around Kroy's school, which was really awesome. We got to see him play with his kids on the same football field that he played with. What did you guys take from just that scene of the show? Or at least, how did it feel to know that he's gone out into the NFL and then he was able to go back home and go to meet with some of his old teachers and, just walk through the building and see his pictures on the Hall of Fame?
I think it's actually a really beautiful moment. Yeah. And I really think that these last few episodes has really been Kroy's defining moment. Look where you started and look where you are and look at the family that you've created. And so seeing how far he's come in his humble beginnings, I think it means a lot more to Kroy than what he's expressing in the show.
Absolutely.
To bring his boys there, to bring his family there, as different as his family is, but to bring his wife Kim there and to show them all the things that made him who he is, and then to come from that to the NFL, into to fame and the fortune and the spotlight. It's a long road coming from Montana.
Yeah.
So I really think that it means so much more to him than what he's even expressing in the episodes, as far as emotional, because, he's a man, Kroy can't be this means so much to me,
I feel like Kroy, I hope that he gives a lot of women hope, because again, he's just such a sweet man. The fact that all of his teachers, they remember him, they're so proud of him. So even now they remember him and he touched a nerve, and he doesn't just do locker room talk or whatever you think that these men are saying and doing. No, because here's a man, I just gotta bring it in there.
Hello.
Here's a man that fell in love with an older woman, adopted 2 children. He still stands by them all the time. Now remember, he met Kim when he was 27, and he's not some partier. He just does the right things. He really works hard to get to where he is, and it is important that they go back there and kids can see that, and it's even important for himself, though I don't think that he needs a refresher of that. It's really, really Very touching.
But you can tell that even while he was there, he had like a twinkle in his eye. So I definitely agree with you, Candace, when you say that he's not showing us as much of the fulfillment, with him being there. And I think that his way of showing that to us are the little jabs when him and Kim are being interviewed. He's like, oh, so you want to move to Montana? He's like throwing it in there and sliding it in there.
Yeah.
And even when Kim was like, we're not going to have a cow in our backyard, he was like, maybe. So I think those little sound bites that we're getting from him is him trying to express just how much he loves home and how, like, he just lit up. Like, he fit there, and all of it makes sense. And even when he was explaining, this is why I'm so calm, because it is such a peaceful, state. It's such a peaceful place to be in. And I'm like, yeah, I can now relate more to you, Kroy, because I see where you come from, and I understand you a little bit more.
And I think we can all identify with that. We've all come from different places, and then we've all, migrated to big old Los Angeles. And, we go back home, and although we remember why we left, there's still something about our hometown and everything that comes with what made us who we are and why we got to this point that just makes us like, wow,
Absolutely.
I have to feel that him being there, I really think it's very, very hard on him that he doesn't talk to or see his parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Just for how much he's about family, and now that he has, these children, I really think he just doesn't talk about it, but I think it really, really is super hard on him.
It was an awkward moment for me this episode to even watch him going through his school, and he ran into, one of his teachers. And even when he was talking to the activities director, they're trying to catch up on what part of the city do you stay in, that small talk that you usually have. And then not knowing, he was like, oh, well, have you gone to visit your parents? And for me, it was like crickets. Like, that was awkward. Like, I hated even to want to have to be a fly on the wall for that situation, because you can feel the tension. It was just like, oh no, like he tried to just brush it off, but we know, we've been talking about it every episode. We know that you're not speaking to your parents for particular reasons, and it's something that we've been wanting the show to take a direction toward.
Yes.
And it's still like avoiding it. So I guess, how was it when you guys like watched that scene of today's show?
Well, I really pretty much feel the same way. It is pretty awkward.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, any of us that's watching will ever know the entirety of the details.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. Luckily, he has a wonderful immediate family that's able to keep him busy. So, that is a blessing. But, I would love to, obviously know more, as all of us who are fans of the show would kind of like to see him patch that up. So,
Absolutely.
And this season, so I love this season, but I feel like it's almost just all about fun, which is great, because we know Kim is all about ask, believe, receive. She's all about positive energy. She doesn't want to deal with anything that's negative, but I still wish that it was a little deeper at times. I mean, we all love sometimes the drama of reality TV when there is a little pain, or is, it's something where we can kind of, see the reality in that, because not everything is perfect.
Absolutely.
So I didn't love Home on the Range 2. I felt like it could have just been one episode. But that's just my personal feeling.
I definitely am excited just to see where the season is going to go. We're on episode 5, and we have plenty more to go, and I just wonder what the meat of the season is going to be. Like, what is going to, when we're at that final episode, what is our takeaway going to be?
What a drama.
No. And it's not even like, and it's not even more so like drama, because like it's never gonna be like drama.
You still want to feel moved when you watch a season of something, whether it's reality, whether it's a 30-minute comedy. You kind of want to feel like you've come away with something,
and it doesn't have to be an entire episode.
Yeah.
But touching on it, talking about it, just getting to that, because at this point it's like we're walking on eggshells, at least for us viewers, especially since we've been following the show. It's like, okay, we know that there's more going on here. You guys are just giving us the surface. And I think that us as fans, we've proved to be more loyal than not. So let us in, like, give us, let us take this journey with you. I do want to say that I just had a thought. I also want to take into account that, she did go through the stroke, and I feel like maybe that was just too much. So, which is probably why we're getting like all of the fun now.
Exactly.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's also just so many people in the family, so it's not just like if you're watching just Kim's life. You know, now it's even Kane and Kaya, just the little ones. Everyone still has their place, and we're seeing all of them. So I think that that's hard too, because they can't just focus on one person's storyline.
Which we got to, I guess, get a taste of while they were in the gun store. I got an absolute headache. Just imagine toddlers just going wild. That's like taking a kid to the toy store. And KJ, he's so far beyond his age. Like, he's such a little man.
Oh, my God.
He wanted the BB guns. Like, and I do feel like he is like a little Kroy.
He really is. But Kroy's softer than that. KJ's like a little more...
Daredevil?
Yeah, more daredevil.
He's like a Kim mixed with a Kroy, and that's scary.
Yes, he has that scary. Kim, like, I'm going to go
He has that fire. He definitely is feisty like Kim.
You have to remember that Kroy is used to being around guns. When I think of guns, I think of like, oh my gosh, scary guns. Yeah. But in Montana, they go on their range and they're shooting, and so it is a very safe environment. But why is it that Brielle and Ariana always have to watch the little ones? Where are the two nannies?
Which is funny because even while they were in the store, they weren't necessarily watching them. I
ain't seen a nanny yet. I'm like, where are the nannies at?
We got a peek at the nanny when they were
I feel like she was like sitting on a chair, like tackle. Comfy or something like that.
Well, maybe the nannies are there to like tame all of them when the cameras aren't around. Because I could only imagine, like, if we're getting a taste of how energetic everybody is on camera, I can only imagine doing that when the camera's cut off. And you have the camera crew, and you have all these people that's just a part of this production. They probably are there for.
They probably put him to bed, or if Kim and Kroy are doing their own thing, or they're they're kind of there for that time, which makes sense.
Yeah.
All I know is that the nannies are needed.
Yeah.
Because we got to see
Tom's 10.
Brielle and Ariana not watch the twins how they were supposed to be watching, so we definitely need eyes on the toddlers in the house.
There still has to be more with Brielle and getting a job and doing something.
That's why I said, like, this season we're just like touching the surface, like we're walking on eggshells. When are we gonna get into the family stuff that we're so used to? That's one thing that we have to get into. However, with the new direction of this season, if it's a new direction, I do love the time that Kroy spent on the football field with his sons. That was just a very heartwarming moment to know that this is where you started from and this is where you're going. And even when they went out into the fields, let's talk about the field, because he traced Brielle with cow poop.
Wow, yeah. And Brielle got on down. Like, Brielle took off. I've never seen, I've never seen her run, but...
You literally have the boys playing with cow poop and guns, and you have the girls putting on fake lashes, putting on their push-up bras and their heels. Like, it literally couldn't be... Even the littlest one, Kaya, like, she's in Burberry. It's just... It's so hilarious to me. I love it.
Surprisingly, Chef Tracy was on the side with the girls.
Oh my
gosh. I mean, she has like this toughness about her. So I expected her to be out there trying to toss cow poop too. But she was like on the side with the girls, like, nope, not today. And I was like, okay, Tracy, do you. And I guess one of the takeaways from that scene is just how hilarious Brielle is.
Yes.
She's such a girl.
Her being herself.
Really funny.
Yeah. Even her Snapchatting the cows and she's like, dinner. Like, that made me laugh literally out loud because it was funny, but it was kind of true if you are a meat eater.
And then the Angus is good comment. I couldn't.
It's her personality that really does make people fall in love with her, because she does just say, like Kim, she definitely says whatever she wants. She doesn't hold back. But one thing I was going to say is that this is the best time for them to take these trips and spend time together, especially because we don't know what's going on with Kroy.
Right.
So it's really the best time for the boys to have that time with him. And not everybody can. I mean, there are some, even dads that work 9 to 5 or work doubles to support a family, or dads that aren't around. So I think that they are doing something right, and they really do have like a good family unit, which we've said before.
Yeah, but if they didn't take this trip, we would have never known that Bruce was hoarding one of Kim's wigs on his wall.
I love it. I love it.
Who gave it to him?
He claims that Kroy gave it to him, but I think he might have secretly stole it. Because on Home on the Range Part 1, he mentioned trying it on before.
Yes. He has a little piece of Kim with him at all times, which is sweet.
It's scary.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but he has like deer head on the wall. It's just like another thing. It's like a little statement piece.
No.
I think I'm about to cry, and not because
It's
I
probably
love
like
wigs.
$600
Not
too.
because I love wigs and weaves, but just because when Kim saw her wig, she was like, "What? How'd you get her? What'd you do with her?" Like, so I was almost sympathizing for the wig, like it's a whole human person at this point.
Well, doesn't she have her wig Instagram? She has an Instagram that's devoted to
Because she
her
has
wigs.
so many.
I love it. No, look, I'm trying to get at that level. Like, own as many as possible.
Wigs though
have
are like
them-
heavy and hot.
They are,
you
but when
know.
you're fabulous, you don't care.
That's true.
That is, you don't even feel
Pain
the
is
heat.
beauty.
don't.
Pain
You don't
is
even feel
beauty.
the heat.
Exactly. When you have like wigs like him, like you just, it's whatever. It's a part of who you are, and they have personalities. You know, like the red one is.
She rocks it.
Well, she doesn't have a red one. But she
I was like,
I'm
she has a
sorry.
red
I'm
one?
starting to speak from like personal experience.
Your red one, okay.
Did you see me? My face, I was like, she has a red
Wow.
wig.
Can you wear your red wig next week?
I could.
I love it.
We finally got a call from Mr. Buddy Baker this episode, which is Kroy's agent, who called with an update, except
Which really wasn't.
it wasn't an
update.
update.
These agents, they're always trying to make you feel good. Oh yeah, it's just right around the corner. Just stay positive. Everybody wants you. Okay.
And it was like the things that he was saying, yeah, you're right. This is the prime of my career. I do want to think about long term, not short term, but where are we? Like we knew that already.
Well, it's
Yeah.
great that he still wants to play because I still could see him doing sports updates, going into like sports announcing. He totally could do that now more than ever. So sometimes it's like, do you still play, or while you guys have a reality show, you have stuff moving like Michael Strahan, do you start to maybe already start venturing out there? What do you think?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like he's just I think that he may feel like he's just too young to go that way yet. Because when you do see all of the anchors and, the people who are talking sports, they're much older. And some of them have already retired.
Mm-hmm.
Or they stop playing because of an injury or whatever the case may be. Although he was injured, he has gotten past that, and he still feels like he has. We saw him running after Brielle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think he still feels like he's never going to be this young again. So while he can and while there's an opportunity, play, because once he takes himself out, you can't revisit it again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, running after all those kids, he's in shape. So I'm just like, get on the field.
His body's built.
Yeah. Because
That's
dealing with
for
that
sure.
family, that's your preseason right there.
Right.
So he needs to get on
That's
the
all
field
the
while he
workout he
can.
needs. So I mean, I definitely see where you're going, and we would love to see, because he has the face for it.
Oh, definitely a personality. He's
Personality.
serious. He learns. He's a hard worker, and hard workers always win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that Kim will love that, because it'll allow him to be at home more and not have to go away for trainings and camps. And, when the season starts, you're tired, you're going, you're
Right.
traveling. So it definitely would be good for both the family and him, and it'll give him time to relax his body. But, if he can still play, we want to see him play.
I do too.
So I don't think that next episode will be on the range anymore. There's no
Get back
Starbucks
to it.
Yeah,
anywhere.
'cause Kim was trying to go.
There's no Starbucks anywhere near where they were living, so it's time for them to head out, which brings me to some kind of news and gossip. So Kim is now leaving Montana. Just like this season, there isn't much gossip. There isn't much meat. Like, there isn't much of anything surrounding the show, which is great. You want to look at someone's life and say, oh my gosh, there's no negativity surrounding them.
I did see another thing where they brought up again her going to Atlanta Housewives. We know it's not going to happen. But I did see a little. What?
I'm just wondering, how would it be if she were there?
She doesn't need to be, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't fit at all. So it's a great thing. There's no gossip surrounding Kim. One thing in the news is that we will be attending an expo this weekend and hopefully get a chance to run into her. We'll just be going as guests. So if we run into her, that would be a plus. And hopefully we can kind of sneak in some kind of exclusive.
Yeah.
So if Kim or Kim's
We're
team
gonna
is
try. We're
watching,
going.
look out
We
for
will
us.
be there.
There.
We'll try to be sneaking around, trying to get some, hey, how you doing? Let's say hello to our fans. We'll see. No promises here. Let's move on to social media. What is happening in the social media realm? Well, we know that there has been a lot of takeovers for Bravo TV and for the show just for promotion wise. However, with social media, I think that the fan base is so strong that the marketing hasn't even been that much, and they almost haven't even needed to market much because she has loyal fans that are continuing to
Definitely
tune into the show, which is really awesome. So I guess it's not a bad thing if you can almost like self-promote and make numbers. So kudos to the Don't Be Tardy team, and of course the Biermanns.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kim is so great with social media.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, she has that personality that either like you love her or you don't like her, and so that makes
Hatred will get you nowhere, but I
and so it's just like, but it builds for a very dedicated and loyal fan base, because people like, if they rock with you, they rock with you, you know. So
absolutely.
You know what I was gonna bring up real quick because I thought about it after we had talked about Brielle being like cyberbullied, and you had said last episode, at least Mom always has her back, and you know, I kind of thought, this is kind of being devil's advocate again, but when as a mother do you step back and let you know, try to have your daughter defend herself, right? Like if I'm bullied on my Instagram, I don't have the luxury. My mom will never be able to defend me. It was just like something I was thinking about.
I think because of the dynamics of their relationship, she's almost never going to step back. And not in a clingy type of way, just because they have that friendship dynamic. And she almost feels like she brought...
And she is very, very strong.
Right. And she felt like she has brought Brielle into the spotlight.
That's true.
She definitely can maneuver and act on her behalf.
Very true.
But I mean, what you could also say is that she may prepare her for it behind closed doors and talk to her and be like, hey, you're this personality on camera, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm sure they have these conversations, you know, that no one else sees with production and everything else, and let her know, like, hey, this is how you need to handle it. You know, ignore all of that. Don't let it affect your self-esteem or, you know, how you see yourself and how you interact in this world and everything else. So, I mean, maybe she's having those conversations with her and not, you know, she doesn't necessarily have to do that. Because, I mean, like, we can think about well, I don't want to compare them to the Kardashians, but I mean, Kris doesn't necessarily step in. But then again, you know, those Kardashian girls are older, so.
Well, now it's time to move to our favorite part of the show. It's time for some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What is going to happen on episode 6?
I'm trying to remember what the clip was about.
You know?
You know what? Don't cheat on the clip. So we got a little promo, and we know...
I already forgot what it was.
We know that Kim and Kroy are going to get into a little argument about gambling, spending money.
Next week, I'm all over that episode.
So my prediction for episode 6 is that we're finally going to start... They're going to start feeding us little bones. Like, the meat of the season is going to start rolling out, and we're going to get a little bit more to latch on. We're going to be able to go through the highs and the lows with them.
Yes.
Well,
love it.
I'm looking forward to Brielle and this date.
Ooh.
Because Brielle dating, could you imagine the boy that is going to have to deal with her? I am ready to see it. So Brielle on a date, man, bring it on. I want to meet this guy. I want to meet him. I'm kind of like Kim. I'm like, let me meet this dude.
Okay, I'm going to feed off yours, but here's the thing. She's dating, but what about her life? Like, I mean, you're 19 now. Like, you need to bring in some money. I know that, you know, she's been lucky. She got to go to E! We saw her before last season and, you know, try out hosting. So I'm like, okay, you know, is she going to do the mom route and just start dating, maybe find the love of her life and have babies because she doesn't want kids? Or are we going to start seeing, you know, it's going to be Kroy. I think it's going to be Kroy being like, okay, this is time. What are you doing with your life?
So you think because she's going on a date, that conversation may come back up next episode?
I'm just saying it needs to.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, when I was 19, I was worried about my career. I had 3 jobs. I really never was thinking about guys. But I also had to support myself. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's all fun and games when you can, you know, afford, you know, $2,000 shoes and do whatever you want to do. But... you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with guys out there.
Absolutely. We will just have to wait until next week to tune into episode 6 to see what happens with Brielle. I'm just waiting for all the laughable moments. I'm waiting for all the laughable moments that's going to come. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure on this evening. Again, I'm your host, Elayna. You can follow me on all social platforms at Hey It's Lay.
You can follow me at Suzette Babb.
And you can follow me _Pim Fried Rice on Instagram.
Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.